High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard, one of my favorite books, one of my favorite humans. He's not just handsome, he has such a big heart and he cares about humanity. It's palpable. Now, the thing is, there's a really important missing chapter in this book that we're going to talk about today because it is the very essence and information that determines the one of two potential driving forces that wants high performance that then promises success. When we think of high performance, what do we think? Money, status, material goods, freedom to travel, do what we want. Doesn't it promise us that? Now, if we don't know the one of two driving forces, that could lead us down to two different outcomes. One could lead to the outcome of we have success for a while and then we crash and burn and then we lose everything that we did acquire because it was on a rocky foundation. And then if we follow the other path with that driving force, we lead to a forever unfolding journey of expansion and fulfillment and satisfaction. Sounds good, right? That's what I thought I was buying when I got this book. But because that chapter was missing, I didn't know what was driving the bus for my desire for high performance. So my friend, you're going to want to make sure you stick to the end on this one because we're going to go into the nitty-gritties and the depth of what those two driving forces are so that you don't fall into the same invisible trap that I did that is fueled by ego and ignorance. Okay, so what are they, Mike? The two driving forces. One of them is a wound and the other one is our soul. When our wound, often the father wound, is driving the bus to wanting to perform and create success, we create a mess in our life. Why? Because it's from a wound. It's from a place that's not fully satiated. It's an under-resourced place. It's a place that, when we talk about what created it, is the absence of the emotional availability of a father, the neglect, the criticism, the shaming, the gaslighting, the fear, the intensity, the outbursts of your father. Like, if those ingredients were present, it creates this deep wound and this inner belief. The brain will start to make a belief about the experience of that, of disconnection, the dishonor, and what belief it creates that I've seen with 100% of the men that I support. I'm not lovable. And from that inner experience, the inner experience of I'm not enough, I'm not lovable, what happens is this coping, overriding mechanism of I'm going to become this and I'm going to create success. I'm going to make millions and I'm going to, achieve this status. And then maybe then, and this is the delusion that the inner ego develops, is maybe then I will be good enough. Maybe then my father will love and accept me. Maybe then I'll be acknowledged and validated by the people around me that I am worthy, that I matter. Now, the sad thing about this is, and I've been there, I was the guy that when I bought this book, my father wound was driving the bus. I thought maybe if I achieve more, if I produce and perform more, maybe then I'll be lovable. You know what's the sick trick of this one is? I had a beautiful wife. I had all the ingredients I wanted. I had a good paying job. I had a jet boat, a brand new truck. I had, making six figures back in the very beginning. That was a big deal. And I was miserable because my wound was driving the bus, thinking I had so much more to accomplish to even let in and receive the love and the connection that was available. It's a really disheartening place to be. And the reason it leads to destruction is it's such a rocky foundation. It doesn't lead to sustainability because it's from a disconnected place. It's like trying to build a big, massive skyscraper on a foundation with half the blocks missing. One windstorm comes in and the whole thing will fall over. It's no different than us building success from a wounded place. We need to know and understand that there's no shame about if that's the one driving the bus, but we need to bring the awareness in so that we can break that cycle. And one of the sayings that I like to use here is awareness breaks the cycle, but embodiment rewrites it. We need to rewrite the driving mechanism and get it in the right lane so that what we're creating is coming from wholeness. Now, this doesn't need to be perfect. We all have wounds and there's layers that we're working on, but we do need to understand and build a healthy relationship to this other way. Now, this other way. So the first way is the wound, and the second way is from the soul's desire to expand and experience through the human experience. The soul wanting to expand and evolve through the human experience. I'm going to say it a third time because it's so important. A soul wanting to expand and evolve through the human experience. This is the essence of masculine energy, which is the energy of becoming. When we are connected to Creator, God, life, universe, whatever you want to call it, and we're connected to the essence of our own heart, our soul, the whispers of our decisions and our choices and our direction, when we are connected to that and we learn about high performance and start to perform from that deeply connected place from inside, guess what happens? We end up feeling more fulfilled and more satisfied. We become more attractive. There's more opportunities that show up, and it's forever sustainable. It leads to a path, not that there won't be trips and stumbles, but because there's a deep connection to self, to God, it leads to a deeper intuition, a deeper awareness, a deeper presence to life itself that creates an experience of enjoyment. You know, when I think of Brendon Burchard, man, this guy, one of the, just to riff on Brendon here as a prime example, this guy has so much success. When I first came across him, it was over 20 years ago. And I'm a relationship coach. So I study and I track and I look for people's patterns. And the pattern that this guy has is, you know, over the over 20 years I've followed him, something that I've really valued and appreciated about him, which is why he's a man that I care to talk about and that I want to learn from, is he's walking the talk. And he is a man that is inspiring. The ingredient that I look for that tells me he's really doing it from a connected place are his relationships. It's the relationship to himself and his own thoughts is one thing, but the relationships to other people and what they have to say about him, that's really important information for me. And what I have found is the podcasts he's been on, the stages he's been on, everyone has the same thing to say about him, and that is his heart, his presence, how he makes them feel when he connects with them. One story that comes to mind is Tom Billio from Impact Theory talked about his relationship to Brendon Burchard, and he had him, you know, he was on the show and then ran into him at an event where that they were both at, and Brendon just like lit up, face smiling, waved and came over, and Tom felt so good about that interaction. And that's what I'm talking about. That's a man connected to the essence of his soul, his heart, and is creating from that place. That is what makes high performance and success sustainable, is when it's from that place, because then it's all the ingredients are just filling the cup of resource. And then that overflowing cup of resources then spilling into the inspiration of the products that are created, the services, the offerings, the talks. That's where we want to create from, because that's where it actually, the whole process is enjoyable, and then it's not outcome based. When I first bought this book, I was buying an outcome. I thought that if I learn everything that's in this book and all the people that have figured this out, I will get the success. And then once I get the success, then I will feel happy. Then I will feel complete and whole and lovable and enough. Can you relate? Let me know in the comments if you can, because that pathway that wasn't talked about in this book created a lot of mess for me, a lot of pain. And that is, again, another byproduct of that father wound. I lacked the emotional and intellectual intelligence to discern that that would be an important factor to tap into and to get to know before executing the steps in that book. If I'm not connected to myself, if I don't have a relationship to my creator, well, then I'm just going to be creating from fear. I'm going to be creating from logic. And then I'm going to end up doing things, which I did, that are out of integrity, that are so off the mark of like why I would even want this. When I look at my life now, I feel like I'm really in that second lane where it's like I can feel my soul wanting to expand through this human experience. And the tricky part is I just have to honor the human part where the conditioning bubbles up and where I get triggered. And then I need to get to know what unresolved wounds are in the way of my forever expanding into the next version of my soul's experience through this human body. You with me? Now, having that deep internal connection, I can see the pathway that I imagine anyone who gets this book is actually wanting. And there's stories in here that Brendon talks about. That's, is a common experience for people who move to success and high performance. Is they want to feel whole, they want to feel free, they want to have deep, meaningful connections and relationships, and they want to give back to humanity. That's what a soul, just all souls want. All souls want to feel a deep sense of belonging. They want to feel enough valuable, and then to really get to know themselves, and then to be received in themselves, all of them, and give themselves to life and see how that benefits life. That's the deepest fulfillment. That's where people find purpose. That's why, in some of these studies that are talked about, that's why people are so happy when they give to other people and receive from other people. It's been studied that there's just these big serotonin hits that happens in the exchange of giving and receiving. Now, if we're disconnected from ourselves and we're not in the experience, embodied, remember what I said before, awareness breaks the cycle, but embodiment rewrites it. If we're not embodied, if we're not in our heart, feeling and receiving the ingredients that are coming from the exchange in this pathway of high performance, well, then we just end up feeling more shame and more disconnected and embarrassed. And then we want to perform even more and push even more, grind even more. And then we become unwell. And then the people around us become unwell because we're not fully in ourselves. And if you're still watching this, my guess is you're someone that really does want to stay connected. You want to get to know yourself. You want to bring your God-given gifts to life so that they are received, so that they add value to other people's lives. That is a true rich experience. Talk about success. I used to think success was the numbers and all the things, and I still like that part. It's feedback, in the human experience. When we talk about the soul expanding in a human experience, it's the ingredients in this game that mirrors back in some places. Oh, this is the man I'm becoming. I had to learn all these things to be able to create this thing that's led to someone wanting to pay me for my time and my energy to help them where they're at, which is usually, the journey I was just a few steps back. That's the evidence that it's working, that I am evolving, that I'm expanding, and it feels good because I then get the privilege of watching people become the best version of themselves. Watching a man drop from his head and drop into his heart and starting to trust me to feel his feelings and express and emote and digest his unresolved childhood, his unresolved relationship to his father. With me, a man that gets to hold presence in the way that was missing. When I'm in that experience, it often brings me to tears. It's one of the most meaningful experiences for me as a man. And I still remember the first time I had an experience of a man holding presence and space for me like that. It broke me open, and it also broke me into a new trajectory. Not just a man with more information. That led to a breakdown. That led to a divorce. But a man that is connecting deeper to my experience, my heart. My forever trajectory changed in that. And that's what I hope for you, which is why I wanted to give you the missing chapter so that you can feel into wherever you're at. If you're drawn to this and you're looking to create and you want to make more money and all the things, I want you to ask yourself this question. Which one is driving the bus? The wound or your soul and its desire to expand through the human experience? Is it your father wound, the place where you weren't received, wanting to produce, perform, prove, Or is it your soul? So clear on the mission here, willing to meet all the challenges, the trials, the tribulations on this journey, on the path. If it's that second one, I can guarantee you will enjoy the experience, even on the days where it's hard, because you're alive, you're in your body, you're feeling your experience, you are becoming something great. And that doesn't happen just winning all the time. And so, my encouragement for you, my friend, if you're still here, grab a journal, grab a pen, and start to reflect which one, and being real with yourself. And the encouragement here is don't overthink it. One of the practices that I use with the clients that I work with is really encouraging. Put a hand on your heart, breathe, take a few breaths into the belly and the pelvis, letting the exhale out longer than the inhale. And then ask your heart this question: which one is driving the bus in this missing chapter? Is it the wound, or is it your soul? And listen to the whispers that come. Give your heart space to listen to the whispers, and start to just journal and reflect. Because, my friend, if it's the father wound, you just found the golden key that's going to set you free. It's going to set you on a new trajectory to go process and integrate all that unresolved material that was about the relationship with your father. Because when that is resolved, when that is integrated, when you can move all that energy that is stuck and stored in there and get back on track with the same trajectory of the success and all the things, that is the path that will be sustainable. That'll be the weatherproof foundation that holds up the structure of the man you're here to become. And you will enjoy it because you will have deep, meaningful connections around you. You will have the skill, healthy adult availability in your brain, and the skills to really enjoy the experience, to really stay in touch with why you're creating the success. Not what you're creating, but why. When you're in that place, so enjoyable. And then in yourself, the journey just never ends. There'll always be another level to arrive into, but each level becomes enjoyable instead of the wounded way. The wounded way is each level is frustrating and discouraging because it's not giving you the thing you thought you'd get from it. It's the forever moving pylon. My friend, I want you to stop that game, because it's just a crash and a burn. It's an overriding, exhausted, just pathway of destruction. I want you to thrive in this life. I want you to thrive in your relationships. And the most important relationship to repair is the one with yourself. And that developed with your relationship with your parents. Today's episode, specifically your father. And so you, my friend, I want you to journal those pieces. I want you to be real with yourself. And if the answer for you was number one, the father wound, I want you to really encourage you to move towards a man who has the offering and the availability to really hold space for you with safety, with attunement, with care, so that you can heal that wounding with your father. That is the thing that's going to set you free. Not the next strategy, not all the next principles. It's actually getting to the essence and the root inside of you. That is the thing that's going to set you free. Then when you go to pick up this book and you implement all the things, that is amazing. God, it's so amazing. Then it'll actually be sustainable. It'll feel good. And if you feel inspired, this is the work that I do. And I do have some openings with my 6-month container. It is high ticket, just to let you know. The price is high and the outcome is high. This is the thing that can save you, for in some situations, save men hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in divorces and lawyer costs and all the things, and misery and the pain of not wanting to be here. Not a fun thing. This is a proven way to really rewire. Remember what I said, awareness breaks the cycle, but embodiment rewrites it. I'm going to help you rewrite it. If you feel inspired, scroll down. There will be a link in the description there. Click that, fill out the application. If not, that's okay. Keep taking in this free content. If you got value from this, my friend, please do me a favor. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss all the future content to help you become the man that can thrive in success and relationally.